The Miami Dolphins revealed that quarterback Tua Tagovailoa has been placed in the NFL's concussion protocol, causing concern among fans and former players. This announcement came as a surprise, as Tagovailoa played the entire game against the Green Bay Packers without any visible injury. However, this news has raised concerns about Tagovailoa's health due to a previous head injury in September that resulted in hospitalization. In response, several former NFL players working in the media have urged the league, the Dolphins, and Tagovailoa to prioritize caution and consider sitting out the rest of the season. Former NFL quarterbacks Steve Young and Robert Griffin III, along with ex-defensive tackle Booger McFarland, discussed this topic on ESPN's Monday Night Countdown and called for increased caution in the NFL regarding head injuries, with Griffin and McFarland specifically urging Tagovailoa to sit out for the remainder of the season. If the NFL really cares about health and safety, as well as addressing concussions, Tua Tagovailoa should not play anymore this season, McFarland stated. Griffin, whose career was affected by playing while injured in a playoff game, emphasized the importance of prioritizing Tagovailoa as a person over his role as a player. "We can't take head injuries lightly," Griffin said. "We need to put the person's well-being ahead of their performance on the field. I'm more concerned about Tua's long-term health and quality of life than whether or not he plays on Sunday. He should not play for the rest of the season." Griffin later reiterated his statement on social media as he wrote, "Tua's long-term health is more important than playing again this year." Although Young did not specifically call out Tagovailoa to end his season, he emphasized the need for more NFL safeguards and acknowledged the challenges in evaluating brain injuries in medicine. "The brain is still a mystery in the field of medicine," Young said. "As players, we don't fully understand the risks involved with head injuries, and medical science can't accurately assess them. We're constantly putting ourselves at risk for something we can't even gauge. So when Tua jumps back in there, it's concerning. I understand the challenges and stakes for the NFL, but if we want to take these issues seriously, we need to be able to test players for head injuries before games and keep them out if necessary." Young, a Hall of Fame quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, retired in 2000 after repeated concussions raised the specter of permanent brain damage. He has since frequently advocated for better treatment and awareness of brain injuries in football. Emmanuel Acho, a former Philadelphia Eagles linebacker, joined Griffin and McFarland in calling for the end of Tagovailoa's season while speaking on FS1. "You have to shut Tua down for the season," Acho said. "No questions asked. It's better to be safe than sorry. The Dolphins have already experienced this regret once this year." Acho was referencing the Dolphins' Week 4 game against the Cincinnati Bengals, in which Tagovailoa left the game on a stretcher and was taken to the hospital after suffering a head injury, as well as a previous head injury sustained in a game against the Buffalo Bills just 1 week prior. The NFL Players Association ultimately fired a doctor who was involved, clearing Tagovailoa to return to the game against the Bills, and the league has since updated its concussion protocol. Tagovailoa's head hit the turf hard in both the games against the Bills and on Sunday against the Packers. He was medically cleared to play in the following game against the Bengals, but ended up in the hospital. These incidents have raised concerns about the Dolphins quarterback, who has now suffered 3 head injuries in 1 NFL season. The Dolphins are currently in the midst of the AFC playoff race, with remaining games against the New England Patriots and the New York Jets that will determine their postseason standings. As of Monday, it was unclear whether Tagovailoa would be able to play in Sunday's game against the Patriots, and there may be pressure for him to play if he's deemed healthy. However, concern for his long-term health may ultimately outweigh this pressure. Tom Brady was among the NFL quarterbacks who responded to the concerning head injury sustained by Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa during Thursday's game against the Cincinnati Bengals. On Monday's episode of Let's Go podcast, Brady stated that he believes concussions are a natural risk of contact sports like football, and that part of the solution should be focused on preventing injuries before they occur. "I think concussions are a part of contact sports," Brady said. "I watch boxing and UFC, and people get knocked out often. That's just part of playing these very physical sports. All sports come with associated risks, and as an athlete, you must understand that it's part of the deal. My belief has always been that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. It's important to be proactive with your health and make sure you can recover as quickly as possible if you do get injured. However, much of the focus is on the aftermath of injuries. We should also consider what we can do in advance to help athletes be prepared to handle the physical demands of sports. We can't remove the risks from sports, but we can take steps to prevent and manage injuries. Stephen A. Smith also echoed the sentiments of many following Tua Tagovailoa's head injury in the Dolphins game. On an episode of First Take, the ESPN analyst stated that someone needs to be fired within the Miami organization. "I don't know who, but somebody needs to go," Smith said. "I'm looking at Mike McDaniel, the coach, like, what in the world were you thinking?" During his weekly appearance on the Pat McAfee show, Aaron Rodgers offered his thoughts on Tua Tagovailoa's injury situation. "It might be time to consider ending the season," Rodgers said. "Eventually, you have to think about your cognitive function later in life. I like Tua and the way he approaches the game. I hope he makes the right decision for himself, and I'm confident he will." Several New England Patriots players took to social media on Thursday night to express concern over Tua Tagovailoa's playing status. "Dude shouldn't have been playing tonight," said Patriots safety Adrian Phillips. New England linebacker Matthew Judon said there was no reason that man should have been in that game. "Protect yourself because some people only see you as a football player," Judon wrote. Chris Nowinski, the CEO of the Concussion Legacy Foundation, who works with Boston University's CTE Center, tweeted this: "This is a disaster. Pray for Tua. Fire the medical staff and coaches. I predicted this, and I hate that I'm right. 2 concussions in 5 days can kill someone. This can end careers. How are we so stupid in 2022, he wrote. Both Mac Wilson and Hightower tweeted that they were playing for Tagovailoa as well. However, it wasn't only players, coaches, and analysts that went out to speak on Tua's situation. Thousands of fans also took to social media to call out the NFL. Let's go over some of the things the football community had to say about this matter. The handling of Tua Tagovailoa's injury last night is a glaring example of how the NFL and the Dolphins organization have failed to prioritize player safety. Tua should never have been allowed back on the field after sustaining 2 head injuries in such a short time. It's time for the league and teams to start putting the well-being of their players first rather than just trying to win at all costs. I can't believe the Dolphins allowed Tua to play last night after he was clearly not fit to do so. This is a blatant disregard for his health and safety, and it's unacceptable. The NFL needs to do a better job in protecting its players from serious injuries like concussions. As a fan of the NFL, it's heartbreaking to see players like Tua suffer such severe injuries on the field. The league and teams like the Dolphins are more concerned with winning than they are with the long-term health and well-being of their players. This needs to change, and it needs to change now. The decision to let Tua play last night was a terrible one, and it's clear that the NFL and the Dolphins are not prioritizing player safety. It's time for the league to take a hard look at its policies and procedures and make the necessary changes to protect its players from serious injuries like concussions. Could it be that the NFL's protocol is not enough, considering that Tagovailoa had a history of head injuries before he played? There may be room for further improvements to the protocol. With this whole scenario, it's been pointed out that players are involved in the decision-making process when it comes to potentially exposing themselves to further injury. If you like this video, you might like Tua Tagovailoa's lifestyle video. Do you think Tua's career is in jeopardy? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to subscribe, and thanks for watching.